starts now. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco, and we begin tonight with a November matchup like no other when Southwest Washington voters will choose between a former Green Beret in the middle there who calls himself Hard America First, and on the left, the co-owner of an auto body shop calling herself a working class Washingtonian. Let's bring in Alma McCarty. And Alma, tonight, this of course means a longtime moderate Republican, one of 10 who voted to impeach Donald Trump, is out.
That's right. First elected in 2010, U.S. Representative Herrera Beutler held this seat for 6 terms. She conceded the race tonight, and now voters will ultimately decide whether the congressional seat flips blue or if the Trump-backed candidate takes control.
1 week after the primary deadline, we now know Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez will face off against another political newcomer, Republican Joe Kent, in the general election for Washington's 3rd congressional district.
This was a very hard-fought primary, and I think that's an absolutely good thing.
Speaking to a crowd of Clark County Republicans Tuesday night, Kent called for conservatives to unite and rally behind him as the candidate.
Right now, we have seen the full scope of what can get thrown at us and the unity that Republicans can have. I'm not very good at doing math, so I won't try and do it publicly, but if you look at the Republican turnout on that ticket, it will be an absolutely loud and clear message to Washington, D.C. and throughout this country that Washington 3 is one of the most conservative districts in the country.
In an interview with KGW Tuesday, Gluesenkamp-Perez also called for unity within the district, hoping to win over moderates on both sides of the aisle and fight against polarization.
This is absolutely a winnable seat. And it's not so much about convincing folks that they need to change their affiliation. It is about an argument of what's best for the district and who has lived experience. We can't keep electing extremists and career politicians to Congress and expect better results.
After appearing to be in second early in the ballot count, U.S. Representative Jamie Herrera Beutler was overtaken as the rest of the ballots were counted from last week's primary election.
Jamie Herrera Beutler knew she was in for a real hard fight because Donald Trump had basically targeted her.
The 6-term Congresswoman was one of 10 Republicans in the U.S. House to vote in favor of impeaching former President Donald Trump after the January 6th insurrection. In a statement, she wrote, "Ever since I was first elected to this seat, I have done my very best to serve my home region and our country. Though my campaign came up short this time, I'm proud of all we've accomplished together for the place where I was raised and still call home." Political analyst Jim Moore explains with the incumbent out of the equation, this becomes a very competitive race.
Do the Republicans come together and say, we want to keep the seat? Or do those who supported Jamie Herrera Beutler say, we support you, we don't want a Trump person? Do they then vote for the Democrat? It's going to be a real interesting election to see what happens with that.
Jamie Herrera Beutler's current term in Congress ends on January 3rd, 2023. For a more in-depth look at how both Kent and Gluesenkamp-Perez are reacting, head to KGW.com. There we have more analysis from experts plus extended interviews. David?
Yeah, potentially one of the most interesting races in the country and right in our own backyard. Thank you, Alma.
Lord have mercy.
Oh yeah, that was the reaction from KGW viewer Brittany as a storm rolled through Sweet Home tonight. Some spots saw hail, wind, and lightning, the trifecta there. Now check out this video recorded by Nicholas in West Salem. He slow-moed it so you can really see how the lightning spreads out there. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Safina, who's tracking the storms. Matt, anything moving through right now?
It's really calmed down right now, but I love the fact that everybody's got a camera, a video camera in their pocket now with their cell phones, and we get such great imagery from our viewers when we get a weather situation like this. You can see there's not much happening in the Portland area right now, but those storms that move through Eugene were especially potent. So things are calming down right now. It's really quite humid outside, too. You may have noticed that if you've walked outside. But in the Portland area proper, we had some rain showers move through. They have ended. More video for you. This from at Tango Master 25 with lightning tonight in the valley. This is around the Salem area, and you can see he looped this for us. But you can see some really interesting strikes there. We had lightning last night, too, east of Sandy. Then this picture from Rod Stevens near Silverton. And look at the lightning strikes there. That's cloud to ground lightning. So again, some great displays and some great viewer video and pictures of the storms that moved on through the region tonight. And then finally, this picture for you of hail, quarter-sized hail. This one from Matt Gonterick down by Eugene. Just to give you an idea what quarter-sized hail looks like and how rare it is, it's rare. And it takes updraft speeds in the cloud of about 50 miles an hour to generate that. So it's about 1 inch in diameter, considered severe hail, and it is rare. So interesting to get that. Now, because of the lightning we had in western Oregon, the fire weather warning is shifted to the Cascades and to the Willamette Valley because of the potential for fire starts with the lightning that we had. More on our wild weather in a bit. David, back to you.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody who sent photos and video, and keep them coming. Thanks, Matt. Well, to get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, all of the lightning is keeping firefighters watching things warily in Central Oregon. Over the past 48 hours, more than 100 strikes, likely sparking fires reported in Deschutes, Jefferson, and Crook counties. Now, most of the fires are small. They're being monitored for now. There is concern, though, as the rain moves out of the area, that some of these fires may grow larger. Crews have observers flying over these areas each day, watching for increased fire activity. In Corvallis, a man discovered he'd been shot, but had no idea where the bullet came from. The 44-year-old called 911 saying he was bleeding from the shoulder. He checked the windows in his home on Merloy Avenue and couldn't find any broken glass. Eventually, police found the bullet had traveled through the wall of his apartment and then lodged in his shoulder. He is expected to fully recover, but police are now looking for the shooter. They're asking any neighbors who might have video from early Sunday morning to give them a call. And tonight, the FDA has issued emergency use authorization for the monkeypox vaccine to allow doses to be divided. Health providers can now split a vial into 5 different doses. They're going to administer it under the top layer of skin rather than into a layer of fat underneath, with the vaccine in short supply. This is going to allow much more people to get the shot. The vaccine remains reserved for those considered at highest risk. Well, tonight we're getting a glimpse of what it's like to be forced to move over and over again, because the city just started clearing out campers on Northeast 33rd near Marine Drive. Now, this is an area we've reported on before. It's lined with trailers and RVs, though also covered with debris and garbage. Blair Best talked to those packing up and found Portland has a new plan to keep them from coming back.
A different kind of alarm. The sound of time running out.
But a little bit of notice could have been helpful.
Al lives in one of the trailers parked along 33rd Drive in Northeast Portland, just west of the airport. It's a hotspot for homeless campers.
It's 33rd Avenue, man. 33rd and Marine Drive. Everything goes on down here. That's why I leave during the day. I go to work, I come home, I go to sleep.
He was home on his lunch break when City of Portland crews started pushing trash onto the front of his camper.
These guys are sitting here just throwing trash from all the way down there and just bringing it all the way up to my trailer like it's mine.
He says they told him he has 1 day to move, or else they'll tow his trailer away.
And then they just spring on me this morning that I gotta move my trailer, and I have no way of doing that.
He's just the latest among those who have been forced out this week.
Yesterday was the day that they forced us to move here.
Devin was living in a trailer across the street.
Right up here, actually.
He says this is the second time the Portland Bureau of Transportation has moved him and his friends in just the past 6 months.
They told us that there was about, I'd say, 5 trailers that needed to be moved, and they only gave us like 4 days notice. Not very much notice at all, especially when we don't have a truck. We had to find someone to come move our trailer for us.
It was a grueling process that lasted them 24 hours.
And that's my home. You were going to take my home. I was not going to have anywhere to stay after that.
A PBOT crews on scene tell KGW they're clearing camps that are on PBOT property and installing concrete blocks to deter more campers. We reached out to the city twice about this, but didn't hear back. Many who live on this strip say they're tired of being moved from one place to another, even if it's just across the street. They say they want more than anything to get out of this cycle.
It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good.
It's due to the fact that I don't have resources that I am forced to be out here.
Lack of available resources is one reason, but many have another struggle in common.
Drug use, honestly. And that's due to my own issues.
It's largely due to my drug use.
You can't get a break, you know. I mean, we're not having fun over here. I mean, at least I'm not But people assume that, we're having a blast over here camping,
It's like a hamster wheel. Once you get out here, it's hard to get out.
In Northeast Portland, Blair Best, KGW News.
And you can't assume. Everybody has a different story there. For the second time in a month now, a popular chain announcing it is closing one of its Portland stores. The Cracker Barrel in Jansen Beach is boarded up. Furniture is on its way out and food donated to a nonprofit. The store closed abruptly on Monday. A spokesperson saying the decision was made because of the restaurant's performance. But employees told us today it was closing due to security and safety. People who live and work in that area say they're not surprised.
Gross. That's the best way to describe it. There's a lot of theft, people on drugs. So it's getting really bad out here from the last 3 years that I've been coming out here.
And the Cracker Barrel shutdown comes after 3 Portland Starbucks stores also closed over safety concerns for staff and customers.